Hello guys, welcome you all to AI Ki Pathshala. Today is the second session of Git and GitHub. During the last session, we have already covered about all the theories part. What is Git? What is GitHub? What is version control system? How Git is different from the GitHub? How we use Git in our local system? And how we and the GitHub is a cloud-based Git repository, is a cloud-based repository of the Git. That we already have discussed these things in the previous session, and this session is a continuation of the last session. So here what we are going to do, whatever thing we have studied there, theoretically understood it, we are going to see those things practically. We already have seen what is main branch, what is trunk, how we will do sub branching, how we will how people sitting at different locations. People are sitting in their different workstations, and how they can push their code from their local system to the local Git, and from the local Git to the GitHub repository, and thereafter how they can fetch the code, how they can pull the code, and thereafter from the local system, from the local Git, how they will push the code to the GitHub repository. These things we have already discussed theoretically, but today what we are going to do, same thing we are going to do hands-on. And today what I am going to do, I am going to show all those things so that your concept will become very clear crystal with the help of terminal or command prompt. Since I am on a Mac machine, so I'm using a terminal. Those of you who are on the Windows machine, they use the command prompt instead of the terminal. Same thing in Windows is called command prompt, and that same thing in Mac or Linux is called terminal. And those of you who are on Ubuntu or Linux operating system, I think all the commands of Mac and Linux are almost equal, so you don't face any issue. But some of you who are on the Windows system, there in some of the command, there is a difference in some of the commands. So I will also guide you that. And this is all. So let's go through it. So I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you through the command line. Same thing we can do very easily with the help of VS Code. VS Code is a full-fledged IDE, integrated development environment. We will also see in the next session of the Git and GitHub, we will see that how you can directly push your code from the VS Code to the GitHub repository, and that is a very easy way to do it. But today we have consciously chosen a difficult approach, because by going through this approach, you will get a complete understanding of what we have learned in the previous session, and also you will get a complete understanding of the GitHub, how Git is different from the GitHub, how we do how we first push our code in our local system, then from the local system we push the code to the GitHub repository, and from the GitHub repository how we can pull the code, how to generate a pull request. All those things we are going to discuss today. So this is all. Is there any question from you guys? If you guys are having any question, and see, those of you who are watching my recorded session, you can go to the description section of the video and join my Telegram group link. From there, you can join the Telegram group, and you can get the regular update about my regular live classes that I often conduct every night at 10 p.m. IST. So this is all. If there is any question from you guys, kindly raise your question. Otherwise, I'm going to start now. What you should do, open your browser. First of all, you guys open your browser. Open your browser and type git-scm.com. This thing. Are you able to see this? Guys, can I get a quick yes or no? Are you able to see this thing? Git.scm.com, Git.scm.com.
Yes, we can see.
So you first open this
Yeah.
Git.scm.com. If you will open, you will be able to see this kind of screen. Fine. You will be able to see this kind of screen. Now, when you open this kind of screen, here you will get an option for download. Since I am on a Mac machine, so I am getting here download for Mac. And those of you who are on the window build, you can click here. Since you are on a Windows, you can click here window build. And when you will click here, you will get this kind of interface where it is written download for Windows. Fine. So 32-bit Git for Windows setup, and this is 64-bit Git for Windows setup. So I suppose most of you are on a 64-bit Git for Windows setup. If some of you are on 32-bit window, you can download it from here. And those of you who are on a 64-bit Windows setup, you just click here. Simply you have to do click, nothing more than that. If you simply do click, it will start, see, and it will ask you that give me the path to save this. Let me save it on my desktop. So I have saved it on my desktop. Now I am telling you one thing, since after downloading it, simply what you have to do, you have to open it and you have to click install, next, and it get installed. It is very easy to install this thing. It is very easy. It is if you open it, it is in the zip format. Fine. So you have to simply I have downloaded it. It is present here. But in Mac, what happens in Mac? By default, Git is installed in the Mac. But in Windows or other but in Mac and Unix based operating system, Linux based operating system, it is already by default, it is installed inside my system. So I do not need to install it separately. But in Windows, what happens? You have to install it separately. So in my case, it is already installed. So, but for you guys, you have to download it and then you have to install it. The installation process is very simple. You have to just click, next, and finally it gets installed. So I'm giving you, let's say 3-4 minutes of time, 2-3 minutes of time, and first install it and then confirm me that you have installed it. Fine. And if you face any issue, please ask me, please interact with me. So I suppose you guys have already installed Git on your system. So I have opened my terminal here. So those of you who are on a window, you can simply search for the command prompt, or you can, if you will search for CMD, you will get the command prompt, or you can, if you go at the start of the left hand corner, start, where there is a start thing. If you will go there and search for the command prompt, you will get the command prompt, this kind of screen you will get. So you have to open it and you have to check whether Git is installed in your system. For that, what you have to do, you simply write git space dash version, version. If you will simply write this and press enter key or return key, you will get this Git version 2.33.0. So it means this version of Git is installed in my system. So you guys please check the same thing at your end and confirm me whether you are getting this something or not. Please check and confirm me.
I'm getting 2.42.0 Windows 2. 42.
2.42. What it means? Since you have see why you are getting that thing, because you have installed it today.
Yes.
And I have installed the same thing before. I have not installed it today. It is already, so I am on a little bit previous version and you are on a latest version, so it doesn't matter. Fine. If I simply run git dash version and type, I will get this thing. Now the next thing is that all of you have already installed the git. Now next thing is that I have to create one directory, and for creating a directory there is a command called mkdir. This mkdir is used to create the directory. So let's create one directory and give a name. Let's give what name you can give, mkdir, and let's give test 22 test repo. Give test repo. Name of the directory is test repo. Fine. So if I press enter key, this test repo directory will get created, and it is created inside the present directory in which I am presently in. So if I want to go to that directory, simply what I have to do, I have to write here cd. Let me zoom a little bit so that it is visible to you. So I have to write cd and thereafter name of the directory, like test repo is the name of my directory. So if I press this, now I am inside this directory called test repo. My present directory is test repo. Fine. Now, first thing that I have to do here, I will initiate the Git. In this directory, in this test repo directory is created. If I will go to my present directory, I can see that this test repo is created inside my present directory. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. If I will go here.
But in my case, it's not coming.
My mic is not working?
No. In my case, this test repo is not out. We are not getting this test repo. After typing mkdir as dash test repo, I'm not getting this.
Test repo. Thereafter, you have to do cd, then test repo. So you will reach here.
Acha, cd test repo. Okay.
Yes, you have to type cd and thereafter space, thereafter that repo. That means this directory, you will reach that directory. If I will show you here, let me show you. If
yes, I got test repo. Yeah, I got
if I will come here, and if I go,
I got test.
Fine. Let me show you one thing. If I am coming here inside my this directory user, this thing, so you will see test repo. You can find there must be one repo called, see here, this test repo. So test repo is created. Are you able to see this test repo?
Yeah.
Are you able to see this? This test repo is created. So what this is doing, what actually I am doing, mkdir means make directory. Mkdir, the function of this command is to make directory. And I am giving a name of the directory as test repo. So it is creating one directory called test repo. Inside my present directory, I am creating one directory mkdir and I am giving a name this. Thereafter, I am going inside that directory. Okay, fine. The directory, this test repo directory that I have created, I am going inside that repo, that directory. To go inside that directory, what you have to use? You have to use cd, then space, then name of that directory. This is the name of my directory, test repo. And when I have entered, now see here, after this test repo is coming. That means presently I am inside my test repo directory. Are you getting this thing?
Yes.
Fine. Now,
Fine.
now the next thing that I have to do it is I have to do the git init. I have to do git init. Why I have to do git init? I have to do git init because I have to initiate a local git. I have to initialize empty git repository inside this. From my local system, from here, I have to initialize an empty git repository. For that, what I have to do? I have to simply type this command git space init. If I simply type git space init and if I will press enter key, see what I am getting? Initialized empty git repository in users after anubja /test repo /git . Since you are on a window, so you are getting something different here, double front slash. Are you getting the double front slash? Let me please tell me, because I am on a Mac, so Mac users are getting this, or Linux users are getting this. But those of you who are on the Windows, they will get a slightly different path sign. Fine.
Git
So now,
init.
Git space init.
Git
space init. If you see here, see initialized empty git repository in users anubja test repo, thereafter .git. It is created.
Yeah, I got similarly. Yeah.
Same, only that you would have given this path is slightly different at your end, depending upon how you have set your path. And instead of this backslash, you are getting the front slash. Fine. Double front slash. Are you getting the same thing now?
Yeah, similar I am getting.
Okay, fine. Now, for the window user, I'm first telling you, since I'm for the window user, I am first creating. So window users, you don't type this because this command will not work on your system. I will tell you other command on your system. Now, what I want to do, I want to create, this is a directory which I have created, test repo, and then after I have went inside this directory through this command, thereafter I have initialized an empty git repository inside this directory. Now, I want to create one file inside that directory. So for those of you who are on Windows, on Mac or Linux, you can type touch. Thereafter, give a name of the file. Let me give, I am giving the file name as file1.txt, and simply I am pressing an enter key here. Now, as soon as I am pressing an enter key here, what will happen? This file1.txt file will get created inside this directory. This file will get created. But for
That's
the
file1.txt.
Yes, but you, for the window user, I am telling you there is a different command to do that. What is that? Let me tell you. Let me type it here. And you have to do this. You have to do type, type. Then you have to put space. Then you have to put null. Thereafter, this greater than sign. And you have to put file1.txt. What it means? You are creating an empty file. So for this, you have to first give this type and then null. Null means you are creating an empty file. There's nothing inside this file. And thereafter this greater than sign and name of the file. And I'm giving the name file1.txt. And thereafter you have to press enter key for the window user. Do it and confirm me that you have done it. Thereafter we will move ahead.
Yeah, done, but I got test repo.
What?
I got test repo.
Test?
Repo.
No, you will not get test repo. Test repo, you are already inside the test repo. So you have to inside that you will get nothing. You will
I get nothing. I got nothing.
Type space null, then greater than sign, then file1.txt.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Nothing. So this is the command. So hope you have done it. I've erased it. Now, for checking, what next thing is that this is a command for the Mac and Unix user, ls space lrt. If I simply type this command and press enter key, I will get what is inside my test repo directory. So see, file1.txt is present. This file1.txt that I have created is where I have created inside my test repo directory. Fine. So this file1.txt I am getting here. This thing file1.txt is the file that is created. For you guys, what you should do? You should simply type dir and press enter key. Press dir and then press enter key.
Yeah, dir repositories. Volume in drive C is Windows volume serial number 1.
Did you see file1.txt anywhere inside that?
Yeah, file1.txt.
Okay,
port
fine.
1023. Yeah.
Yes.
Coming.
That means this command is this command ls space lrt is for the Linux or Mac user, and this dir command is for Window user. So for when I have given this command, I get this file1.txt means this file1.txt is created. Fine. If I will go inside my test repo, let me show you this thing also. If I will go, let me show you this thing. If I will go inside my test repo, let's go here. And inside this test repo, see, this is my test repo. Are you able to see this? Test repo. If I go inside this, see, file1.txt has been created. Did you get this? Am I get a quick yes or no?
Just a minute.
Fine. Now, next thing. What next is?
Next, what? I'm not getting what you're telling.
I have told you, just I have I went to the test repo directory and I saw physically that whether the file1.txt is present there or not. Here with
Yeah,
the
it's
help
present.
of command, I have already seen it. Yes,
Yeah,
it is
done.
present, but I went physically to that location. See here, I went physically to that location and just see whether the inside this test repo, whether file1.txt is created or not. See, file1.txt is created. And since the file1.txt is empty file, there is nothing inside it. So its size is 0 bytes. It shows that this is an empty file. Do you got it? Fine.
Yes.
Now, next thing that I have to do it, I have to type this command git status, status. And if I simply run this, what I am getting here? I am getting on main branch, no commits yet, untracked file. That is the file that I have created just now inside the Git repo is untracked. Nothing added to commit, but untracked file present. Use git add to track. That means what? I am checking the status of git status. I have initialized empty git repository inside this directory, and I have simply asked for the status. What is my status? So it is saying that I am on a main branch. We have already discussed what is main branch, what is sub branch, and all those things. And it is no commit yet, since I have not yet committed in my local. So it is telling me untracked files. Now, next thing that I have to do is I have to add this first. This is called staging. We already have discussed the staging. Git, for adding it, what I shall do, I will type git. Thereafter, I will type add, add. See here, git add, and thereafter git add, I have to type dot, git add dot. And if I just press enter key, now what has happened? It is called staging process. Now this file is added, that it is staged for committing. This is yet not committed. It has yet not committed, but it has been staged for the committing. So when I have used this command git space add dot, now it has been staged, but it has not yet been committed. But it has been staged. It has moved one step. Fine. So if I will, now I have to do one thing, git status, status. If I will type this git status, let's see what happened now. What it is showing on main branch, changes to be committed. It is telling that I am on a main branch, no commit yet. I have not committed anything. Changes to be committed. New file. It has found a new file. That file is called file1.txt that I have created, and changes to be committed. And this file is needs to be committed. Now it has been staged for committing. You can also unstage this. It is use git space rm -- cased file -- dot to unstage. If you just, it has been, since it has been, whenever you have you have used this command git space add space dot, it has been staged for committed. But if you want, you can also unstage it. You can move that. So for that, you have to use this. For the window user, you must be getting something else here. So whatever you are getting, you can use it. So simply I do not, but right now I do not want to unstage it. I have to commit it. So I will move ahead and I will commit it. So now for committing it, what is my command? Let me clear it first so that for committing it, what is my command? Let me type it here. I have to type git, then space, git space commit, COMMIT commit space dash M. Thereafter, you have to write any message. So I am writing here first commit. That is, I am committing here for the first time. So let me write this git commit first commit. Git space commit space dash M space then first commit. And after that, if you simply press enter key here, see what is happened. What has happened? First commit, one file change, 0 insertions, 0 decisions, create model this file1.txt. Now what has happened? This file has been committed. But where it is committed? It is committed inside my local Git. It is yet not on GitHub repository. Whatever we are doing right now is getting committed to my local Git, which is present inside my system locally. Do you understood this? Guys, tell me quick, yes or no? Even if you are not able to do it right now, you can do it later, but understand it properly so that whenever you do it later from the recorded session, you should have a clear understanding of those things. Are you getting? Now, next thing is that you have to go to the GitHub. What you have to go to the GitHub. You have to open a GitHub and let me open a GitHub here. You have to go to the GitHub and you have to open. Can you see my GitHub? Are you able to see my GitHub? Am I get any answer from you guys? Are you guys able to hear me or not?
Where you are this thing?
What?
Where you are getting this thing?
This thing?
Yes.
This is my GitHub. You have to simply go to your GitHub repository. You have to simply go to GitHub. Your GitHub. What you have to do? Simply type GitHub. You have to simply type github.com and press enter key. You will go to your own GitHub. I have come to mine. This is my GitHub. You will go to your own GitHub. Simply you have to do github.com. In your browser, you have to open your browser, whatever browser you are in. Let's see, you are in, let's say I'm in, right now I am in Chrome browser. So I have to go inside the Chrome browser and I have to type github.com and press, and if you press enter key, this GitHub will open. Okay. If it may ask you for logging, so you have to get logged inside it. When you will get this kind of screen in front of you, and thereafter what you have to do? You have to do new for creating a new repository. Here I am creating a new repository, and what is the name of that repository I want to put? Let me put test repo. It is checking for availability. Yes, this repo is available. So it is asking for this description. So let me write here, this is for understanding standing Git and GitHub. Fine. I have given a simple it is an optional. If you want, you can give. If you do not want, you cannot give. Now,
New repository.
new repository, you have to give a name of the repository. Whatever name you want, you can give. I am giving test repo here. Name, same name that I have put in the local, I am putting it here also. Thereafter, I am putting this description and choosing this repository to be public. If you want to add readme file, I am not adding a readme file right now because I do not require it. This template, since I do not require this right now, so that's why I am not adding this template also. And I am choosing one general purpose license. Let me choose this MIT license. That's all. And after that, I am creating a repository. From here, if you just simply press create repository here, are you able to see my screen now? Ruchi? Ruchi, are you able to see my screen? I suppose, Ruchi, we have lost.
Initialize this repository with add a readme file.
No, don't add this readme file right now. Readme file. Add a readme file. If you want, you can add. Otherwise, let's don't add right now. We will understand those things later. Simply, I am not adding this readme file right now. Fine.
Then okay, then choose license.
Choose some general purpose license. Let's choose MIT license. MIT license
Okay.
the third. You have to choose,
Then
and thereafter create repository. Creating repository. So
done.
you have created this repository. Now this repository is present where? Inside my GitHub. I have created where I have created this repository. Inside in GitHub I have created. Fine. Now let's see. Now let's come and open this same terminal here on which we are working now. See, now what is the purpose of creating the repository on GitHub? Because I have whatever I have made one file and I have pushed it to my local. Now, what I want to push that file to the GitHub repository. That is from my local system to the GitHub repository. So that's why first I have made a GitHub repository, and now you have to do one thing. You have to go inside the GitHub. You have to go inside the GitHub. And can you see my screen? Here, inside your repository test repo, this is a code. So you have to click here. When you will click, you will get this thing. You have to come here and you have to copy it. Simply, if you click here, it will just get copied. Can you see this? Can you see it? When you just click here, it will get copied. That means this entire GitHub repository link, this is a GitHub repository link that you have made. If you simply press here, this link will get copied from this code. Do you able to see? Now, when you will copy this, you have to come here again.
You know how to copy? I'm not getting copied.
See, when you will come here on your GitHub repository, the repository that you have just now created, if you will go here, this code,
Hmm.
And if you will come here and press enter, do you see this cursor? This thing,
Yeah.
if simply you have to press here, it get copied from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Got.
So, but that's only you have to do. Thereafter, you have to come to your command prompt that on which you were working.
Right.
Fine. So thereafter, what you have to do here, you have to write git remote, fine, add origin. After that, git remote add origin, and you have to simply paste that link. Control V. If you simply do Control V, that GitHub repository link that you have just created got pasted here. Fine. What it means? Git remote, that means add origin. You have to, this origin is an alias for this entire URL that I have just pasted here, HTTPS, this URL which I have copied from the GitHub and pasted here. So this origin is acting as an alias too. Alias means, do you understand alias? Alias means this, let's say there is some big name. So you are, for that big name, you are making a small, you are assigning one small name on for that big name. So this,
After origin, what have to do?
you have to do Control V, whatever thing that you have copied from your GitHub repository, you have to paste it here.
Okay.
Fine. Whatever thing you have copied from GitHub repository just now, you have to paste it. And this origin is acting as an alias to this entire URL. What is this alias means? See, alias means this URL is a very big line of thing. So you just giving it a name as origin. That from now onward, wherever you will write origin, it will be considered as this entire URL. Fine. Instead of this entire URL, you can write origin, because you are assigning this origin as an alias to this URL. After this, I will simply press enter. When I will press enter, it will happen like this. Thereafter, what I have to do, I have to push my whatever thing that I have done right now, I have to push it to the to my GitHub repository. So this thing is what happened. It has the git remote. The remote git means git that is present inside my local system get added. Git remote add or origin this URL. That means the git which is present inside my local system is getting mapped to the git that is to the GitHub repository. So GitHub repository understand that local git, it has made a connection with the local git that is present in our local system. Now from here, what you can do, you can push your code from your local system to the GitHub repository. And in your local system, what is present? Git, in Git test repo, there is a one file called file1.txt that is present inside your local Git. So for that, you have to give this command git space push space -u space -f origin main. Fine. And you have to press enter key. See what is happened. When I have done this, counting objects, these things, it has been done. But one thing is that if some of you who are on the window and if you have just installed the Git, so you have to configure the Git. For that, there is something called git config -- global user that I forget to tell you. So let me tell you this thing here. When those of you who are using the Git for the first time on your Windows machine, so what you have to do? First, let me explain you this, then I will explain you this. So here what happened is that from my local system, I have pushed my code to the GitHub repository. So now, if I can go to the GitHub and if I want to see, I will get what is inside my GitHub repository. So let's open a GitHub from here. Let's open it. Let's open it and just refresh it. See, when I am refreshing it, I am getting this thing, file1.txt, which was earlier not present, but this time this file1.txt is present. How this is present? Because I have pushed that from my local to the GitHub. That's why it is present here. Now it has been pushed, so it has come here
But
from my local.
in my case, it is not present.
What?
In my case, it is not present.
Which is not present?
This file.txt.
So you must be doing something wrong. Are you
What
pushing?
wrong?
Are you pushing your code like what I have done it? The way I have done it, you have to simply type git push -u-f origin main and press enter key.
Git dash push dash u.
Git push. Let me ping you the entire thing inside the chat. Let's ping you this thing. You can copy this thing from the chat and paste it.
Git dash push.
Git space push, not dash. Git space
Git
push
space push
space dash
space
u
dash u
space dash f
is dash f
space origin
origins
space main.
space main. Error is showing.
What error you are getting?
src rep spec main does not match any.
Okay. So fine. That's okay, fine. Let's do one thing. Let me finish it. Thereafter, whatever error you guys will be having, I will explain you and one by one, because all of you will be having different errors according to your different system configurations. Maybe some of you on the Windows, some of you on some other operating system. So I will help you to clarify you all those errors that you are facing right now. Is this thing clear to you? So shall I move ahead?
Okay.
Because if I start solving the errors right now, what will happen? This 2-3 hours will go, because I have to take your system. I have to ask you to share your screen. Then I will see the error. Then I will tell you do this, do that, and it will take a lot of time. So let's do one thing. Just keep on understanding, and this session will be available for you after the class also. And whatever error you are facing, I can connect with all of you one to one and we will resolve that error. Fine. So from here, what I have done, I have pushed my code to the GitHub. Fine. Now, next thing that I am going to do is, I am going to create one file called touch file 2.txt. So if I just press enter, this file get created. So for those you are on a Mac window machine, what you have to do? You have to use this thing, same thing that I have explained you before. You have to do this type, then null, NUL, then this greater than sign, and thereafter file 2.txt and press enter key. For those of you who are on a window, for those of you who are on a Mac, you have to type touch file 2.txt instead of this. So let me zoom in and see here, type, then null, then this greater than sign, then the name of the file, file2.txt. Those of you who are on a Mac, you have to do touch, after that file2.txt. Is this clear? So let me erase this because I am on a Mac. So when you will do that, this file2.txt get created. Where this file2.txt will get created? Inside the test repo directory that you have created. And this file get created inside your local system. Is this fine? Now, I have to push this thing to the repository. So what I am doing, git push origin main. Let's understand this. You have to, after that, you have to do git push origin main. I have already told you here, my origin is a alias for this URL. So instead of writing this entire URL here, I am simply writing origin in place of this entire URL. When I am writing this origin is considered to be this URL, because this I have assigned origin as an alias. Fine. And if I simply this origin is an alias to our remote repository, and this main means I am in my main branch. I am not yet in any sub branch or any other branch. I am still on my main branch. It means that. And I have to press enter key. When I will press enter key, what I am getting? This thing. Everything up to date. Now, what I have to do? Since I have to, thereafter I have to give this git add, thereafter dot. If I will simply do this, I am going for staging. Fine. If I simply check after that git status, same process I am repeating, whatever I have did. See, your branch is up to date with origin main. Changes to be committed. That means whenever I have added this git space add space dot, I have already staged it, but I have not yet committed. So after I am checking the status, I am getting on branch main Your branch is up to date with origin and main. Changes to be committed. This is the changes, that is file2.txt is to be committed. So now what comes? I need to commit it. So let's commit it. So for committing, this is the command git commit. Let me clear my screen. CLEAR, clear. So for committing, this is a command git commit, 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 thereafter dash m, thereafter this is my second commit. So you can write anything in this message. There is there is nothing is, but let me write it because I have committed it once before and now I want to commit it again. So I am writing a second commit, and this thing dash m second commit. So I have committed it and I have given the message this is my second commit and it has been committed here. So now this thing is committed, still this thing is committed inside my local git, but it has not yet been gone to the GitHub repository. So same thing that I have done with the file1, I have to do the same thing here also. So for that, I have to push my changes from my local git to the GitHub repository. So for doing that, what I have to do? Simply type git push -u -f origin, thereafter main. If I simply press here, so it is telling me it has been committed. So if let's say if I simply go to my GitHub, let me go to my GitHub and let me check it. So just refresh it and see. Can you see? Now file2.txt has been committed to my GitHub repository test repo. Earlier only one file was there and this time file2.txt has again been committed. And it is written here message, whatever message I have written there, first commit, second commit. So that thing is like displaying here. Are you able to see this screen?
Yes.
Nice? Fine. So you have understood these things, that there is called git. Now you can have a understanding that what you have to do. First you have to commit to your local system, and then from the local system that you have to commit, you have to push the changes to the GitHub. When you push the changes from your local git to the GitHub repository, then it will get reflected in your repository. So these two things is clear. Now let's see something more here. Let me explain you something more here, and what it is. Now if you simply here, this thing is clear that you have pushed your changes. Now let me just, if you simply type git here and then remote, 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 thereafter -v. If you simply type this command and press enter key, you will get here two things. This is called fetch and this is called push. And this is a URL, and this URL as this thing origin, this URL That means if you what does this fetch and push means? Fetch means whatever, see, you have made, since here I am this thing I need to clarify here. Let me clarify this thing here. Let me just clarify this thing here first, so that you will not get confused. So let me clarify this thing here. See, what is happening, since I myself is working on my system, so there is single workstation and I myself is pushing created one GitHub repository, and I am pushing the changes to my local Git, and from the my local Git I am pushing the changes to the GitHub repository. Since I am singly doing it, that's why there is whatever changes I am making inside my local system and I am pushing it in the GitHub is already present inside my system. Fine. But let's say if on the same project, on the same repository, all, let's say 3 of us, let's say are working. You are working from your system, I am working from my system, and let's say Rakesh is working from his system, Ruchi is working from her system, and let's say Shankar is working from his system. And all, let's say 4 of us are making some changes inside in our system, inside my local, and I am pushing all those things inside the GitHub. So what is now, whatever changes collectively all the 4 of us are making and pushing it on the GitHub. So all 4 of us are working on maybe some different modules, some different file systems, some different work. All of the 4 of us are working, and all 4 of us are pushing that changes to the GitHub. But whatever changes I have made inside my system, I have with me only that changes is present with me. But whatever changes, let's say Ruchi has made, or Rakesh has made, or Shankar has made, is not with me. So for that, what I will do, I will, after pushing all the changes that I am changing, there is one guy. If you are working on a production system, production grade code, if whenever you are working on any production grade project, so in some company, so what will happen, whatever changes you are making from your place, so there is one guy who are monitoring all those things and approving the things and all those things. Thereafter, they are what all the changes that all the pushes that all of us are doing, they are taking they are like keeping a watch on this, and they are approving it and making it in one place. And what is happening, then all of us will fetch that changes, because I have made some other changes and all of the 3 of you have made some other changes. So all of us will fetch collectively whatever changes all of us have done it. Now that changes is available in the GitHub repository, and from the repository I will fetch all those changes. So now all of us will have the same copy of the code, and now again we will start working on it. So this process will keep on going every now and then. So every now and then what will happen, I will keep on pushing the changes and I will keep on fetching the change, fetching also. So when I will fetch, all the changes that I have made inside the GitHub repository will be available inside my local, and thereafter I will start working on my local. Is this thing clear to you? That I wanted to explain it to you. Can I get a quick yes or no from you guys, please? I suppose there is a late, so you guys must be feeling sleepy. Anyways, fine. So same thing. This is a thing. If you want to fetch, you have to use this. If you want to push, you have to use this thing. So now let me do something more here. I want to fetch. So let me fetch it. Git fetch. For that, see what I have done. I have used this command git space fetch. When I have done this, press enter key. So now what will happen? Whatever thing I have fetched, all those things. Now, when I have a complete copy of the code in my local, now I want to make a branch. I have already discussed about the branching concept. I have discussed in the previous session. So now I want to make a branch. So first I will make branch in my local, and from there and from the local I will push that branch to the GitHub. Then the same branch will get created inside the GitHub. So now I am working on the branch. So for that, what I will do? I will first do git checkout, checkout, checkout. Thereafter, I will put dash b, and thereafter I will do my branch, right? My branch. This is a new branch. Till now, if I will, let me first show it to you. If I will go to my GitHub repository, let's see. Are you guys able to see my screen? Please confirm me. Ruchi, Rakesh.
Yes, yes.
See, this is a main. If I will
Yeah.
simply press here, what you are seeing here? Main.
Yeah.
And this is the default. That means
Yeah.
I am on a main branch. I have explained you in the previous terms what is the main branch, what is the sub branch, how we will take the other branches from the main branch. So you can see here only one branch is there, and that is the main branch. Fine. And inside the main branch, these two files is present. Fine. Now, after you have understood this, I want to create one other branch also apart from my main branch. So for that, what I am telling, git checkout, I am writing this git space checkout space dash b space my branch. So this my branch is the name of my new branch that I am creating from the main branch. This is a sub branch. You can say this is a sub branch that you are creating from the main branch, and the name of that sub branch is my branch. I am giving the name of this sub branch as my branch. So for that, I am writing this, and if I will simply press enter, I will get this thing. See the message that I am getting here. What I am getting here? Let me put it here and now see. See what I am getting here. Switch to a new branch, my branch. Now, I have switched myself to the new branch, and that new branch is called my branch. For doing this, I have to type this. It's not necessary that you should type my branch. You can give it any name, whatever you like. I'm just giving it a name, my branch. So now from the main branch, I have switched myself to the new branch, and that new branch is called my branch. Hope this thing is clear. If I simply type git branch here, branch, I can see, you can see here, there are two branches showing now. One is the main branch and other is the my branch. And my branch is inside this main branch. Can you see this? Mr. Rakesh, can you see this?
Yes, I can see it.
This is, if I am typing Ruchi, can you see this?
Yes, yes.
If I am typing simply here git branch, I can see that I am getting this main and this my branch. But this my branch is inside my main branch. It is not different from the main branch. It is this my branch is present inside my main branch. So now I have to push this my branch. I have created a my branch locally. Now I have to push this my branch to the GitHub repository. For that, what I will do? I will do git. Let me clear this clear so that you can see this here. For that, I have to do git push dash u dash f origin my branch. What it means? Git push dash u dash f. Till here there is no issue, and origin is an alias for my GitHub repository URL that I have already explained you. And now I want to push this thing inside my main branch, my branch, not inside my main branch. So that's why I have written this. Now if I simply press enter key, see what I am getting. This thing, new branch, my branch, my branch, my branch set to track remote branch, my branch from origin. Fine. Let's now see this thing. If I now go to my GitHub repository, let's say, if I will go to the GitHub repository, let me go to the GitHub repository and let's see. Can you see my screen? Guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
See, earlier only I have a main branch here. Now one other branch called my branch has been created, and that my branch is inside this main branch. See, can you see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you simply type view all branches, you can see here. It is asking me that your main branch isn't protected. I don't want right now. So this is all. See here, my branch, your branches, my branch, active branches, my branch. Default branch is my, see here, default branch is my main branch, and other branches is my branch, which is inside my main branch. And this is presently my active branch is my main branch. So if I was making a branch inside a GitHub, what I have to do? I have to first make that branch inside my local, and I have to push that branch to the GitHub. So same will get created inside the GitHub. Is this thing clear? Now,
Yeah.
now there comes a next thing. Let me explain you. That is called a pull request for my branch on GitHub. So now I have to make a pull request, create a pull request for my branch on GitHub. Since see, thing is that I myself is singly working on this thing. So I will make a request, because in the usual practices, what happens when a lot of people is working. So if you will give a pull request, so what will happen? There is one administrator who is monitoring all those things. So they will approve it. Once they will approve it, then and only you can able to pull it. Otherwise, you will not be able to. File to .txt. So I want to print whatever inside my file2.txt. So what I am doing, I am physically going inside my file2.txt. Let's say I am going inside my file2.txt. Here is my file2.txt users, and this is my file2.txt. File2.txt. Where is my test repo is here, and this is my file2.txt. If I am opening this file, what it is? It is an empty file, nothing is there. So let me write something here. So let me write modified. Let me write AI Ki Pathshala got modified in my branch, my branch branch. Earlier it was an empty file. Now I have added this thing. Simply I have written something, and I just want to save it. So just press Ctrl S to save whatever you have written here. I have saved this file. Now this cat command is used. What is this cat command is used? This cat command is simply used to see what is inside your file. So just before this changes, there is nothing inside this file. So if I would have this cat command is used to print, is actually used to see what is inside your file. So I have written something inside my file. So if I simply write this cat and this file name, and if I will simply press this, I will see, let's see what I am getting. What I am getting, AI Ki Pathshala got modified in my branch. That means whatever I have modified in file2.txt, I am able to see it here. So this is used for that. Fine. Now, if I simply press here git status, see what it is written. On branch, my branch, I am on my branch. Your branch is up to date with this. Changes not staged for commit. Discard changes in working directory. So I have made some changes in my file, and it is telling that these changes has not yet been staged. So now what I have to do? I have to again stage it. Same method, I have to do it. So for that, what I will do? And it is written here in the red, modified file2.txt. What it means? This file has been modified. I have modified this file in my local system, and that's why it is telling me that this file has been modified, this git status. Now, again, I have to stage it. For staging, I have to write what? Git add, git space add space dot. If I simply press enter, this thing, thereafter, let me again write git status. It is saying Yes, this file has been staged. Your branch is up to date with this. Now it is staged. If you want to unstage, you can unstage from it. And now thereafter, what is the next thing that I have to do? I have to commit it. And this time, I want to commit this, but git commit -m. Thereafter, I have to write a message. So I am writing this message file2 modified, because I have modified the file to modified. So I am writing this message git commit -m file2 modified. Fine. And if I simply press enter, what will happen? See, file2 modified, one file changed, one insertion, my branch. Now, whatever I am committing on my branch. I am not committing on main branch. I am committing on my branch. So, from here, it is still committed in my local. It has not yet been gone to the GitHub. For committing it to the GitHub, what I have to do? I have to do this git push origin, thereafter my branch, because I want to commit it to the my branch. That's why git push origin my branch. I have to do this git push origin my branch, or in my case git push -u. Let's do write git push -u -f -u -f origin my branch. If I simply press enter key here, let's see, git push -u -f origin my branch. Fine. Git push -u -f origin my. If I simply press enter key, let's see what will happen. So this has been see, git push -u -f origin my branch. So this has got committed, and what it is saying, my branch set to track remote branch my branch from origin. Now my branch is set to track the remote branch from the origin. If I simply now if I will go to the to my repository, GitHub repository, what I can see? If I go to my GitHub repository, let me go to the GitHub repository. Let's see what it is saying. My branch had recent pushes less than a minute ago. But whatever I have pushed, it is already went to there, and it is also telling me compare and pull request. Fine. So let's compare. Let's do it. Create pull request. See what this is telling. This branch has no conflict with the base branch. That means the main branch, it has no conflict with the main branch. Now let's try to understand what it means. I have pushed the changes from my branch to the GitHub repository, and it has asked me to compare and pull request. Means what does the pull request means? I am asking it to merge that changes to the main branch, because I was working on I have taken one branch what it means, I have taken one branch from the GitHub repository called my branch. I made a separate branch. I have not like I have not done anything, any changes in my branch, in main branch. Just I have taken one separate branch and I have made a changes in that branch. What does that changes was? That let's say I have in that file2.txt I made a changes. Now after that I have pushed it to the main branch, and it is telling me, it is asking me to compare and pull requests. So I have made a compare and pull request means ki compare it and make a pull request means I have made a pull request. See what pull request was? That merge the changes that I have made to the main branch. So since I have told you before that I myself is the person, only the single person. Otherwise, if someone, a group of people is working, then one person will be responsible for seeing all these changes, seeing all those things, and thereafter they can give you a permission to pull request. But here myself is there, so I am making this request, merge pull request. So if I just merge the pull request, it is asking me to confirm merge. See, it is asking me to confirm merge. If I will just confirm, it is, see, it is merging. What it is saying? Pull request successfully merged and closed. That means whatever changes I have made has been pushed to the main branch. See what it is, what message I am getting here. See, file2 modified this thing, merged. Now if you will come to your repository, to my, if I will come to my repository, let's say here, and if I see again, see what happened. This file2 modified. If you will get inside this file, you can see AI Ki Pathshala got modified in my branch. So this has been approved and you can see it here. So this is one thing that I would like to make clear to you. So now there is one last one or two thing is there. So let me clear this thing. I suppose these things are clear. And if these things will not get clear, I will explain you again. One-to-one, I will keep session, one-to-one session, and I will explain you all those things. Now, there is one command called git log, G-I-T, git log. What this is used for? If I simply type this command git log, I will get whatever thing that I have done till here. Log means I am get a history of the things that I have done here. I will complete Git. See, first I have, if you can start seeing from this thing, this, let me zoom it little bit so that you can see it clearly. So see, first I have done my first commit, that is test repo. This is the first commit. So it is showing me the date of commit, time of commit, everything in complete details, and it is showing one commit ID. So this commit ID will be taking care of everything that you have done at this point of time. So this has got one commit ID. Thereafter, what I have done? I have done a second commit. What is the date? What is the time? See the difference in time. I made the first commit at this time and I made a second commit at this time. So there is a time difference between the two commit. Fine. Again, there is a commit ID and you can see origin main. This commit I have made on in the origin and main. So that's why it is showing me this thing, origin main. Fine. That means on the main branch I am making the commit, I am committing. Thereafter, what I have done, I have modified my file to modified. This is the message that I have given. This is the first commit message I have given. This is the second commit message I have given. This is the file to modified message I have given. So all this is showing. This is showing me again the date and time. See the difference in time of the third commit. You can see sharp. You can see here the difference that is occurring in the time difference. Now, if you see here, you can see head my branch, origin my branch. That means my second commit, what I have done is done in my branch. That's why it is showing this. Hope you get clear with this. Now, two more thing that I would like to tell you. Now, there is one thing called cloning. So, what is this cloning is that called? Let me came out of this first. I do not want to clone this thing inside. What is this cloning means? There is some repository present inside a GitHub, any repository present inside this GitHub, and you want to copy it. You want to make a copy of that repository on your local system. For that, you have to use this git clone command. So let me first come out of this test repo. So for coming out of this test repo, I have to type this cd. Let me zoom a little bit. Cd space dash dot dot. If I will simply type cd space dot dot and press enter key, I will just come out of this repository. Now, let me create one. I want to go to the desktop. For going to the desktop, for my desktop, let me tell you, let me get desktop, desktop, cd space desktop. And if I simply press enter key, now I am present in my desktop. Now, if I have to clone any directory, like, any repository, for that, what thing I have to do? Simply, what you have to do, simply you have to type git space clone space, and whatever repository you want to clone, you have to give the URL of that repository. So let's take one repository. Let's take one repository, and let me explain you this thing, how you will do it. Let me take a repository of my own. Let me take a repository of my own. So let's come here and let's take any repository. Let's say, this is the repository, recursion part 1. This is the repository. Fine. I have recently created this repository when I have uploaded whatever thing I have discussed in the class. I have uploaded this inside this repository. This is my repository that I have made few days ago. And what you have to do? I want to clone this repository in my local, in my desktop, on my desktop. So I have already specified the path, desktop. I have to go to this code, and thereafter I have to come here and I have to copy this. Simply, I will press here, it will get copied. This is the URL. See here, HTTPS. This is the URL I want to copy. So just I have to go here, copy it, and simply I will come to my terminal. Now come to my terminal. Let me zoom my terminal. So what I have written here, git clone. Thereafter I have to paste this URL. Simply I have copied it from there and I have pasted it here. And if I will simply press enter key, see cloning process get started and whatever inside that repository get cloned. Fine. Whatever inside my repository get cloned. So see, if I will come to my desktop, see here, inside in my desktop, are you able to see this? Session underscore 25 underscore recursion underscore part underscore 1. This get cloned and whatever is present inside that repository has been cloned to my system. This is how, with the help of terminal, you can clone any repository. I will be actually in my next session, I will be discussing a very simple way of, because this is a hard way I have already told you of doing all those things, but this is very important for understanding. And even after this session ends, if you want to discuss one-to-one, whatever thing I have discussed, I am willing and ready to help you out in discussion with your system and everything. So, but in the next session, I am going to discuss, I will tell you and you will feel very light. Oh, this is the simple way to do, like push your code from the VS code and all those things. So I will be explaining you that, don't worry. So I have cloned all my, this repository in my resource. So this way you can clone any repository, fine. And since I wanted to clone it on my desktops, that's why I have given the path desktop here. If I want to come out of this, what I will do, I will simply type cd space ... Just I will come. Now, one last thing that is left, I think cloning is done. So one last thing is called readme.md. That since I have not explained you that. So what is this readme.md? So let me explain you what is this readme.md. This is a very simple, because this is a repository. If let's go to my repository here, let's take this repository. See here, in this repository, I have added this readme.md file. Are you guys listening me? Any one of you? Since it's a long session, I can understand how it feels to be with it. But see, even I am speaking. So Ruchi, are you there? Mr. Shankar sir, are you there? Fine, no issue. Let me explain you this. I have
Yes,
listened.
yes.
Okay, you are there. So I can understand the pain at your end. So see, this is a readme file that I have added here. What is this readme file tells me? Let's simply, if I press here, this is a readme file. This readme file is simply whatever I have done in this repository, or whatever I have done inside this, I have to explain that. If I have to explain that, fine. So this is the readme file. This is a simple readme file, because this is not a big project. This is simply whatever thing I have discussed in the class, and I have made a repository of that, and whatever thing I have discussed, I have mentioned it here. So that, but if you can work on any project, let me take you to one repository. Let me search for that repository. Let me search for that repository, that is https and this let me, for your understanding, I'm going to explain you this github.com, and let's take this Facebook book, research, and FAISS. So this is one repository. Let me take you there. So if you can see this is a random repository that I came across, and this is see this is one project, and you don't have to think of this project because I will be explaining you this project when we will be learning machine learning and all those things. Simply, I wanted to explain you that anyone, if you have made one project, so you have to write a readme file, and inside this readme file, you have to write each and every bit of information. Everything that you have done inside your project, you have to write it in a beautiful and in a very clear crystal manner, because whosoever you will showcase your project, maybe if you make one project, that maybe that project is a learning project for you, that you have made at the time of learning. Right now, just you are learning this Python or some other languages when you are learning these things. And if you want to and if you build some project, so if you show that project to the recruiter or anyone else, first thing that they are going to see or study is your readme file. Just they don't have a time to go through your entire code. They will never read your code. Anyone will not going to read your code. First and foremost thing, they will what they will going to do, they will going to read your readme file. So inside your readme file, you have to mention each and everything that you have done inside this project, everything. So whatever question that they are going to ask you, they will ask you based on your readme file, and they will understand what work you have done, what work you have not done, and based on your readme file, your 50% whatever they will see inside your readme file, based on that they will ask you the questions related to your project. So see here, first it has explained something. There is some called FAISS project, and see here, this is for detailed information about latest features. This is the introduction of this project. See, they have explained the introduction of this project. Then there is installation of software requirement and all those things, whatever installation. Then they have explained how this FAISS works. So they have explained it here. Full documentation of FAISS, whatever the external sources like wiki page, tutorial, FAQ, troubleshooting section, everything they have mentioned here. Thereafter, the main authors of FAISS. Who are the main authors? What are the references? Join the FAISS community and legal, everything. So I just wanted to show you this because whenever now, when you will be doing a project, maybe the Python project, and I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3 projects with you. First, I will start with the Python project because we are studying a Python right now. And when we will be moving ahead, we will be doing different projects on machine learning also, on deep learning also, and other things also. So at that time, you have to write this README file. Is this thing clear to you? If this is clear to you, then let me come to one more thing that is called GitHub Pages. I have already explained you that if you GitHub Pages is a web page for repository. GitHub, it is a different, it is not a part of GitHub. GitHub Pages is not a part of Git. If you simply type GitHub Pages, GitHub Pages, GitHub Pages, if you simply type GitHub Pages, see, you will get this GitHub Pages website for you and your project. You can use this to demonstrate. This is a web page for your project, website for you and your project. From here you can this is a different, you can use here to showcase your work. You can use here, you can use this web page for your repositories. I will be talking about these things when we will be discussing some project at that time. Here just this is a idea that I wanted to give you, that you should understand this is also something that GitHub pages is something that you have to use in the future. So whatever repository you will do, create, see here, everything, some things is written. You can also do a blogging here. You can build your custom, you can use your custom URL also. So these are the things that you can do with the GitHub pages. So I will be discussing this GitHub pages later. Fine. And one more important thing, that for Git and GitHub, I am giving you I in the previous class also I have given this thing, but again I am explaining you. Yeah, you should type Git SCM here. When you will come to this site, and if you want to learn about the GitHub, about Git, there is a complete documentation of this, and there is also a book available here. Read online for free. Whatever thing, whatever command, because what I have discussed today, this is a very basic thing, but there are lot of things still to learn in the Git and GitHub. But for you guys, you don't have to dig deep inside these things. For you, this is, for now, this is sufficient. When you will start working on a project, few more things is required. At that point of time, I will explain you. But for those who are in management, project management and all those things, and different so for those things, operational peoples have to study these things in much more details. So everything is there. See here, what is Git. If you simply type, so you can also see the view. If you can come here, refer book, see here in the documentation, there's a book called, if you will simply come here, see here, you will get a complete documentation of your Git and GitHub. So let's say if I will come here, Git basic, getting started about version control, a short history, what is Git. Let me click it here, what is Git, and see, you will get complete understand, you will get a complete theory from here. You can read things from here. So whatever thing that I wanted to tell you, whatever thing you wanted to study about Git is present here. You have to come online and read those things. Command line, installing Git, first time Git setup, getting help, Git basics, recording changes to the Git, everything that you can think of, Git is present here. And whosoever is using in this world is actually reading from here and working on a project or whatever thing. This is a distributed Git, Git on server, everything you, GitHub, Git tools, customizing Git, Git and other systems, Git internals, everything you will get here. So with this, our session has completed today, and you guys, it's hats off to you guys that you have such a great patience. Pause here, I am just pausing this here. Stop this here, I have to stop here. So let me come here. So it's really commendable for you guys. Actually today I was also not well, but and I wanted to not take class today, but I have made a commitment, so I can't.
But if you are not well, then if you have taken rest, you can take it.
No. A commitment is something that you have to stand in any situations. See,
So that's
I cannot,
what
I cannot like.
no, but that's not the hats off to you.
So, and hats off to you guys that you guys have such a patience, and it's already very late and you guys are still there, and I really. So what I can do, let me stop sharing. Those of you who are watching my recorded session, and if you guys are having any issue, you can put the things in my comment section. I will resolve your issue. So since let me stop sharing. Stop there. Stop.